We are back.
In before one.
Yeah, so, Fluffy. Excellent, thank you. Very cool. So let's see here. Sorcerer, you need to roll a d6 plus your con mod, which is 3. Hey! That is actually above average. So
For once in my life.
8 extra HP, so that puts you up at 54.
Yep. And I went ahead and threw my extra sorcery point I'll get on there. I've just left everything, though, with the charges I have.
Okay.
Until we actually get through the long rest.
Right, yep. Sounds good.
Hey, you don't have as much HP as I do.
Why does it still say I'm a sorcerer 8, though? Shouldn't it say 9 now?
Change it.
Yeah,
At
you
the
can
top.
change it. The gear.
You can change it. Hit the gear. Level 9.
There we go. Okay. Done. Hey.
Cool.
Subrace. No. Forgot about that.
I know, I noticed that the other day. Cool. All right. So
Nightmare's cutting teeth out of the head.
Yes, Nightmare. For that purpose, can I get you to make a nature check, please?
All right.
Yeah, and so you go to the dragon's head, and you're able to successfully pry one out, and same for the lions. You stop for a moment, though, at the last one. The last one sort of has a beak-like structure, and you sort of hesitate on it, and then you can sort of peer under in there, and you can see if once you pry the thing's jaw open, and underneath it, it does seem to have some serrations that would count as teeth. So you crack one of those off, and yeah, you successfully have one of each tooth.
Nice.
And what kind of roll would you want for me to grab reagents for like potions and spells and things of that nature?
Those will also be nature rolls.
Okay. Yeah, I was confused between that and Arcana here. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, that's a no. So I think the reason for this is, do you go to the bigger one or the smaller one to do this?
Smaller ones first, probably.
So, okay, and I think I definitely have a reason for this, and I probably would have made you roll a disadvantage for this anyway, is the smaller ones, the sort of the half that you know as typically being a ram is just this almost entirely decayed body of a horse on the southern one and a donkey on the northern one. It's just some sort of waste or infection of some kind.
Can I make a medicine check on
that? Sure. Go for it.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah. So it definitely seems like, there's been wasting disease that has been seen in these parts in the past, but typically, especially not on a creature of this strength and of something that has some sort of like innate magical power of some kind of its own anyway. This seems to be something a bit more.
Okay, I'll do detect magic as a ritual since we're kind of hanging out here for a little bit.
Okay, go for it.
How big is its head?
Which one?
The big one.
The big one?
Could I drag it back to the...
Each head is about, like, the size of probably Daruk.
I would like to try and cut off the dragon's head and take it with me.
Okay. Yeah. To attempt to do this successfully, yeah, go ahead and make another nature roll.
Unless Bob protests while he's doing his ritual.
Nope.
Okay. Another nature roll?
Yep. 13. It's not the cleanest cut. The scales aren't all nice and pruned. There's definitely like some where you like rip off some of the scales towards the neck, and it's not. I mean, the thing already wasn't super pretty exactly, but it's not the prettiest cut. But you have a massive dragon head that when you try to heft it, like you can lift it, but oh, is it heavy?
Cool. I want it.
Okay. And for your detect magic, there is a very, very strong presence, although it has weakened some from each of them, of necromancy. If you had to venture a guess, this be the plague.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Though it is absent from the larger one. I should note that.
Yeah, and it's a magical plague too.
Mhm.
That's the big deal here. Okay. Then I get nothing of it from the big one, right?
Nothing of it from the big one. You do sense some of it from. I didn't actually put it on the map down here, but there's a crap load of bones and corpse piles and stuff like that down here in sort of the pit, and you sense some of it coming from there.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna look at Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, Nightmare, you can detect magic, can't you?
Yes.
And you're immune to diseases, right?
This is correct.
Can you go down in that pit
Because
and
this is gonna be relevant.
look around some? See, there's some necromancy floating around,
Hmm.
Let's see here.
and it's got some sort of it kind of points to the disease sections on the big ones, but there's more of it, and it's kind of thicker coming out of the pit. I don't know if it'd be safe for me to wander on down there on my own. So
Gotcha.
you
One
can go
way to look
poke
for it.
around
That's more
and
people.
find maybe what it's coming from. That'd be good.
All right. I will stroll down into the pit.
Here, hang on.
Grossness.
So, I mean, I can't find one that would be appropriate quickly, but
Yes, people.
well, that's what I was able to find on a short notice.
Corpse pile.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there would definitely be many more animal corpses you would notice, and most of it would be stripped down like to the bone for the most part. But there's also some humanoid corpses in there too.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna keep strolling on over, and I'm gonna get right smack dab in the middle of it.
Yeah, and you definitely feel the crunching of bones and some
Put your waders
squishing.
on before you went in.
I mean, I'm always wearing waders, so. And did you want me to cast detect magic? Is that my understanding?
Please.
Okay, and then I'm gonna sit right here, and I'm gonna ritual cast detect magic then.
Okay.
So we gotta wait another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while that's going on, do you want my nature roll from the beginning to be for the big one as well, or can I try to pull some shit from it too?
Yeah. Go ahead and make another nature roll for him.
Oh, thank goodness.
Hey, there you go.
That's the
Some
Bob
good
we know
size
and
one,
love.
too. There you go.
All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to pull all the reagents and bits. I guess there's probably dragon scale, and I'm gonna try to kind of get a feel for it because this is different from a normal chimera. It's the first chimera that Bob's ever seen. So he's definitely going to be doing some investigation stuff on it too, autopsying a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Do I notice anything strange on the inside?
On the inside, no, not as.
Or because I guess I still have detect magic going too. So am I noticing any transmutation or anything coming out of it, or?
They're naturally somewhat innately magical beings. I don't know off the top of my head what school of magic that's.
But it's kind
exactly.
of. But there's nothing that's oh, this was fucked with or modified recently or something like that.
Not particularly. No.
It was. Well, we're gonna say it's quote unquote natural, right?
Right. Although I think that with an autopsy, I think that you can tell this one is fairly old. as well. So
It makes sense. Yeah.
I think that with the nature roll, that you could venture to guess that because of this one's older age, it is more resistant against the effects of whatever disease affected the other two.
And I could probably make the logical thought too that the other two are offspring, maybe.
Of some variety, possibly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Nightmare, at the end of your Detect Magic, you also get a similar sense of the fact that there's definitely, not from all of it, not from the entire corpse pile, but definitely from 2 or 3 different corpses in there be some necromancy.
Yeah, we're gonna start taking our sword and start digging.
Okay, are you trying to isolate the necromantic energy corpses?
Sure. Yeah, we're trying to get to it wherever it is.
Okay.
The big green blotch that I imagined in my head.
Yeah, sure. So, you sort of push a bunch of the different bones aside of various woodland and coastal animals, some fishes, and sure enough, you seem to find a smaller humanoid corpse that has the glow of necromancy coming from it.
All right, I'm gonna grab it.
Necromancy?
Necromancy.
I'm gonna grab that one and I'm gonna drag it back over here to the stairs and kind of throw it to the left of me. Be like, here you go, Bob. Here's your necromantic body. There's a few more down there. I'm gonna go back.
Why are
and
you
grab
southern now?
I don't know.
Well,
He's
I
picking up
done,
from Bob.
I done found your corpse and
Bob infected me with that southern stuff.
You gonna try to get the other ones?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna just repeat the process and bring Bob all the special ones.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Can you just like fucking like FIA camp style, just like lay them out next to one another?
Yeah. I'll put them all however you want them.
Yeah.
Rolled out.
Yeah.
Tucked up.
There you go. Yeah. So 3 all humanoid corpses laid out.
Immediately on looking at them, do I notice anything? Because I imagine they're fairly decomposed, but I notice any similarities just like at glance.
At glance, they are, well, like I said, they're all humanoid. Slightly varying shapes and bone structures. If you made a check, you could probably figure out what gender and race that they were, possibly.
Medicine, I think, or nature.
That's going to be another nature, yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Not bad.
18? Yeah. So I think that you can determine that 2 of them are human. 2 of them are adult male humans, and then another one was another was a slightly smaller squatter one that you believe was a dwarf.
And can I, with the detect magic still kind of going,
Mm-hmm.
can I make an Arcana check to see if this plague, whatever, does it have the same origins? Is it like, or do they have it hanging around them because they were casting it? Can I like get the feel into what this magic I'm looking at is?
Let's see here.
So I've done it in the past with other kinds of magic, but
go ahead and make an Arcana check.
okay.
Let's see what you can glean from this.
Wow.
Oof. Okay. Yeah. So these definitely, I think that this knowledge would probably come from some of the things that Dion mentioned, as he has told you some in the past about his work on investigating the undead plague. That these don't look like they were they were actually actively participating in the spreading of the plague in any way. These look like a bunch of victims of the plague. So these look like they were once zombies, frankly.
We hospital, but don't kill the patient.
Bob is like looking at him. Well, shit. Do they have any kind of sort of like jewelry or identifying anything on them to like place like a direction or an area they could have been pulled from? Any sort of like, I guess maybe like, I guess history here. to roll to see if I can't
Yeah.
identify where these people would have been from? Is that something I can do here? Or are they
Uh,
too badly mangled?
yeah, I think that they're just too badly mangled at this point. They've been here for quite some time. Like there's basically no flesh left. They're pretty much skeletons.
Okay, yeah.
The
then
the
no
main way
real-
that you're sort of able to see that they were affected is that sort of the decomposition of the necrotic nature rather than of a
Right.
natural just exposure to the elements of the cave and all the other decomposing corpses.
Okay. Yeah, Bob's gonna kind of like step back and then burn each of them with a firebolt, and then he's gonna look around. Well, noticed a couple things, but we'll get to that. Take a quick look around the cave, see if they didn't stash any loot around. I suppose.
Good idea. Druk, can you go down to that one that you absolutely massacred and get the dragon head for me?
And Dirk just sort of looks at his scimitar, looks at the corpses, says,
I will do my best, but I am used to dismantling human heads, not these things.
Just give it your best shot. It'll be a learning opportunity.
Oh, okay.
so he'll take his scimitar and go on down to the Southern Chimera, and he'll make a roll to
Come get him, buddy.
see if he can behead the thing. He has a -1 to this roll.
He's got it.
He's fucking got it.
Hey, yeah.
He's a natural.
And just sort of works it between the scales and manages to get it sliced on in and cleaves it off and just sort of dragging it back because it's not as big as the biggest one's head, but it's for sure not a small head by any means. It's much bigger than any of your heads. It's probably the size of Nightmare's torso, this one. And just drags it back and says,
Nightmare, I have
just sort of plops it down.
obtained the head of the beast, or one of them.
Excellent job, Drew. That was marvelous. Now pick up your helmet, or head, and meet me over here by the entrance.
How do I pick up my head?
Just grab it with your hands.
The dragon's head, Druk, not your head.
Yes.
I was gonna say, like, during all of this, he's just like, and
He's, like,
starts
putting
like,
his
grabbing
hands
the
on his
sides
head.
of his head.
Do I grab like this?
No, the dragon's head.
Oh,
Grab the one you just cut off.
Okay.
My bad pronoun game.
Okay.
Just picks up the head and takes it over.
And we're gonna wait for you guys, because I'm not much help. I can't really see. So.
That's true. It's dark in there for you. Everybody else has dark vision. Yeah. So, anything else from the rest of you?
Just gonna look over it. Nightmare, what do we need to do to deliver this?
Well, I forgot. Wait, let me research. I'm using my brain. I'm thinking back.
I am using my brain. docs.google.com.
You know what? I think I'll remember once we get back to the place. You know, we should probably go back to the inn. I think.
All right, yeah.
After,
We're still gonna.
after
we're still gonna
thinking
do it,
real
yeah.
hard, you seem to remember Angela saying that she would come and pick them up.
Oh, yes, she'll come to the inn. I knew that. Yes.
Okay.
That's something that I knew.
When we get back, I suggest we rest.
Well, we can rest out here.
I would prefer to be back before he gets there, just to be safe.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Nightmare. Myself and Fluffy ain't exactly doing so hot. We could probably use to take a bit of
Yes.
a rest just in case something gets a drop on us on the way back.
It would be my preference to rest before we leave.
Well, I've got 39 good feeling bits if you guys want some of that.
I can also get us back to the inn like instantly in the morning.
Oh, well, Oh, well, let's do that then. You didn't mention that. That's how did you do that?
Same way we went to see Dion's tower.
Yes, watch out for bookshelves.
Wow, you could just do that anywhere.
I think Bob's like, well, you see, if I take it from a circle that already exists to another circle that already exists, I ain't got to be using the spell slot. But I ain't going to be using the magical power for myself. The circles do it. But if I got to make the circle myself, that's when things get a little bit expensive. So I try not to do that too much, but we can definitely do that in the morning.
All right. Well, sounds good to me. Wait, does that mean that there will be a portal from this cave to the inn forever?
Nah, just for a minute.
Oh, okay. Could be a security flaw.
Okay.
All right, well, let's
Talk
leave
about it
and
later.
take a rest.
Yeah, we probably go outside the cave where it doesn't stink
Yeah.
as bad.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's bad. It's real
And
bad.
then I will go ahead and cast this.
Ah, yes.
So basically, what you all see when he casts it is it's like a misty, it looks like a misty tower. It looks like comes out. There's no substance to it, but yeah. And when you walk inside, it's not furnished or anything really. You feel like there's almost like a wood floor or like a carpeted, like with thick carpeting over it, and some places to set up the camping supplies. But that's it. There's nothing much to it. Basically, I'm gonna do sound can't pass. Actually, I'll just do all of the things there.
Okay.
So
Cool. Divination spells, creatures in the area, teleport in, planar travel. Nice. Cool. All right. So you've got the nice little sanctum in there, and Duke just walks around. And says,
Oh, this is different but the same from the other place.
not quite. See, this time we're still here. We're not over in this where the spirits are. We're still here. I just made no magical wall between us and everything else. Make sense?
Oh. Oh.
He just sort of goes over and like takes his fist and he knocks on the wall of the thing.
Is he on the inside or the outside?
Inside.
If he's on the inside, when he does it, his hand just like goes through the wall.
Wait. This wall, I can go through it.
Yeah, you can walk on out.
Just sort of carefully steps outside and tries to step back in.
He steps in.
Just, well, if I can step in, then it's not much of a wall, is it?
It keeps out certain things, not everything.
Oh. I was hoping that it would block out the bugs. Bugs this time of year are not fun.
Nah, that's what fire's for.
Fair enough.
There are things I can do to do that, but I don't have those spells right now.
Yeah. All right. And does anybody have anything else that they can try to get done before taking their long hecking rest?
The dragon heads are with us.
Yes. This is the thing.
Yeah.
It's not really a thing you do, but okay.
No, but just want to make sure.
All right. Cool. Well, if that is the case, then I think that you guys can get your long rest in.
Yay! We did it!
Yay.
Yeah, right.
And let me go ahead and tell you, you get your combat XP on long rest. So let me see here.
Let's get all my HP back.
All right. So let's see here. Wow. Each of you gets 900 XP.
Wow.
So
Nice.
I will add that for Frost as well. Regain all of her things.
Hey, look. Speaking of Frost,
Hey!
Missed all the fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, combat's over.
Hmm.
Yeah, they killed not one, not two, but 3
Count
chimeras.
'em.
Bruh. This is good news. Is
Good
it break
news.
time?
Nope.
Uh,
We just took long rest.
yeah, and let's see here, 48k. Ooh, you're getting close there, Q. Let's see here. So I regained you all of your things.
Me.
And I will let
Less
you.
than 10,000.
Alright, I'll let you deal with your thing from now on. I'll put you guys back here. Ah, no, back here.
8,725 to level 10.
There you go.
We moving.
We are moving. Has everybody gotten all of their things back? All of your spell slots and HPs and special features?
Yeet.
yep. I need to. What's up? Yep. Be good.
Frost, you get all of your things back. I'll have that for you. You did not do trash. I will tell you that much.
This is good.
You slashed a chimera a bunch of times with your sword, and it was cool.
You did. You action surged.
And you also took a bunch of damage from the chimera, but that's okay. Because you still
Because long
survived.
rest. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, and then I will go ahead and do teleportation circle in the morning.
And actually, since you're here now, Q, we'll go ahead and backtrack a wee bit. I'll let you go over your goals real quick. Let me find the document. There it is. Right now, I have your goals as your surprise goal and find peace with Calavar's new state of being. And we have a suggestion for your other goal.
Oh, what is
you would
this?
like. Protect Druk until he has become independent is what I put down.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, cool. And how much
I like
XP you get will depend entirely on how much danger you expose him to.
This is fair. I'm also thinking of like a way we could introduce him to like the Allards as a new member and like with a full-fledged nickname and whatnot.
Ah,
Hopefully we get there soon.
there you go.
See what he would pick out.
Cool.
We have to give him an actual character sheet if he sticks around.
I
Who
know.
knows? Maybe.
Make that boy a rogue.
Could.
That would actually be really
I have
smart.
definitely said in the past that if you guys want to play some NPCs that sound interesting to you as characters, that's really an option. So,
I mean,
if you
we
guys like
wanted
the
to-
idea of Druk, then that's a thing that could happen.
I'm saying if you wanted me to take control of that character sheet, I would play a rogue. Maybe an assassin, I think, wouldn't he?
I mean, at this point, I'm just still using his monster.
Yeah, his
sheet,
NPC one. But I mean, if we were,
Right.
but it would make sense if he was a rogue, he'd probably be an assassin.
Right.
think so.
Thief wouldn't really fit. That and
Yeah,
Thief
he
is
would definitely be an assassin. I agree.
inferior
Yeah,
combat was.
Thief's quite good. He's right.
But it
I
doesn't
mean,
have...
second story work in and of itself is fucking great.
Oh, is that just you can yeet all the things?
It means you can, like
Ooh, parkour.
climbing no longer costs extra movement. You move faster. Like
But assassinate.
Supreme Sneak is great. UMD also great.
All right. Well, rogue class subclasses aside, I think that Yeah, you're all in after resting in the sanctum for the 8 hours, and you wake up feeling much more rested, and some of you feeling a bit more powerful. And I think that before anything else happens, Nightmare, I'm curious, how does Nightmare sleep?
He doesn't sleep.
Oh, you
Does
don't?
he just
It's like
stand
a
there?
fish. He just kind of like stops, and then that's his sleeping. It's like he's completely erect, like straight up.
Yes. Yes.
You just
Very
hear a
good.
ping from inside his armor.
No, not kind of erect. No, like he's just standing straight up, but he's not moving or breathing very heavily.
Okay. And where do you have the sword? Is it still on your back, or?
No, he's kind of like got his hands on it, and he's kind of like his weight's like supported, like he's
You doing the like,
statue.
stab it in the ground and like rest your hands over one another on the cross guard kind of thing.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah,
And his eyes they're not active. Like I guess you would think that they're closed.
Boom!
Somebody turned off the lights.
Gotcha. Okay.
Nobody's home.
Yeah. Interesting.
Is there ever anybody home?
Okay.
Bob hangs like Christmas
So
ornaments.
I
off
think
of it.
I think once morning starts to approach, Nightmare, you're sort of in there in that sort of meditative state almost, and
Kind of like a trance.
yeah, and as you're in that, you start to hear very faint murmurings and whispers in your head.
Do you hear the voices too?
I guess I would try and concentrate if I was dreaming to listen to them, but if I'm not dreaming, then I would try and wake up.
Yeah, and so you sort of like try to determine whether or not it's a dream, and you don't think it is, and you wake up and sort of groggily or look around, and everyone else is still resting, and you still hear the murmurs.
Are they like in a particular direction if I try and change my head position or move around a bit?
If you sort of like turn your head side to side, it doesn't really change. Then you look down, and you look down at your sword, and you see the eye looking up at you, and it feels as though the murmurs are coming from the sword.
All right. Going to, I guess, kind of concentrate, like bring it up to where it was pointing down. I'm going to bring it up to where it's facing me directly and kind of concentrate on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's speaking in this strange language. No one else can hear this. This is while all the others are still resting. You sort of just hear, as you bring it closer, you start to hear a bit clearer, just broken words. Every once in a while, just wool, power, strength, souls. You just sort of hear these like scattered words as if they're like just straining to get them out, but it seems that there are words being spoken in your head that you can hear.
I guess. Oh, since it's not really making any sense. We're gonna go ahead and wake everybody up and say that it's time to go. At least I'm gonna attempt to.
And then so like you start to like let it down, and you just hear, wait.
And is that it? Is that all I hear?
That's all you're able to hear.
Oh. And then I'm gonna look back at it, and then just kind of stare at it some more.
It's this. I know we linked.
confused think thoughts. Like, am I like talking to it with my thoughts? Is that what you want me to do here?
That
I'm kind of confused.
that is the implication.
Okay, okay, then I'll talk to it.
I just think that's what it's doing right now is just playing Daft Punk to you.
Yes. Link, what are you talking about?
You mortal. Me. The balancer. Connected.
I am you.
You sort of just like feel it humming in your hands, and the just sort of looking at you, turning slightly.
Well, let's see what you think once we meet up with Angela here. I'm curious to see what Varus has in store for us.
We have purpose. Greater. Beyond.
Greater purpose than
Here. Now. Purpose. For all. Hadara.
Well, you're not being very specific, so it's kind of hard for me to tell what your purpose is.
Purpose. Is balance. Not strong enough. Yet.
Well, that's something we can both agree on. That's why I want to get back and talk to Angela, so that Varus can, I guess, make us stronger. I'm not sure.
He has power.
Like, what'd you say?
He has power.
Yes, he does, and I would very much like to steal his soul as much as you would, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
All power must be balanced. We are the scale.
Wah, 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 wah.
Well, once you think that you're strong enough to take him, just go ahead and let me know, but now...
Not just him.
Oh?
All power in the world must be balanced.
Yes. Well, again, I don't think we're quite there yet, but...
Soon,
Soon? I think soon.
world power, greatly unbalanced, must be restored.
Alright, well... Do you have any idea what this is, or do you want me to just start killing things? Because I'm happy with both.
That's the most nightmare line I've heard of.
You will understand.
And then the eye sort of just looks at you, and it changes shape. Its iris in the center changes from human to reptilian to this intricate pattern that you've never seen before, almost like a jagged snowflake design. And you are just immediately snapped to what seems to be someplace completely different. But looking around you, it feels as though you don't see your body. You just see vision around you, and you see a dark area, what appears to be lit by some glowing fire that's very close to you, and you hear the banging of an anvil, and you see this massive hulking figure in an apron that's just glowing with red heat, and it comes over and it looks at you, and it almost looks as if this figure is made of pure heat. It just looks down at you and chuckles and just sets its hand on you and mutters something in a language that you don't recognize. And then you sort of are able, it picks you up And I think that at this point you realize this is from the perspective of the sword.
Oh.
And you're sort of picked up and you feel yourself being carried. And you look down and you see on the anvil that he was banging on 2 other swords similar. And then you flash back and you're back in sort of the main area, looking down at the sword.
Well, that's new. All right. We'll have to think about that one for a little bit. Are you still there? Or... Do I get any response?
Think that it just says, remember, balance, not just soul's power. Balance.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. And yeah, with that, the sword just sort of, the eye looks around a bit more, and the rest of the party is starting to stir a little bit and waking up.
I'm gonna go over to Bob and Bob, how long does it take you to make this portal?
I think do it. Let's see.
About a minute, right?
Yeah, it takes me a minute. Well, you got about 60 seconds from when I start. What's up?
All right. I'm ready when you are.
And at this point, just sort of everybody else is just starting to kind of wake up.
Bob notices everybody's waking up,
What's happening?
smites his staff on the ground, and the sanctum goes and just disappears.
Oh, Bob, you have to warn people before you do that.
Rise and shine, jackasses! And then he just like gets up.
There are bugs down here. They are crawling in places where there should not be bugs.
Oh, Druk, you. Oh,
Bob
supposed to
underarms
not
the
lay on
staff.
grass.
Underarms the staff and like swaggers past everybody. Mage Hand like putting his camping gear into the bag of holding, and then delivers the bag of holding to him. Such a good image too, as he's like,
Well, it's really
starting to-
convenient for you to have, the mage hand.
ain't my fault you didn't choose to learn that one. And then
Yeah, that's fair. Just making a.
Bob begins like making signal, like basically it looks like he's just drawing things in the sand. But if anybody gets close, he's like, ah! Like, waves them away.
I'm
Hey, like-
standing right on the
Like
edge.
filling it in with like this like powdery substance, and like it seems to like glimmer a little bit when he puts it down.
I think he's making a bomb of some sort. Some
And then
explosive.
when it finishes, Bob looks at you and goes, "Fuck yourself, I'm making a dar." And then flips off the circle, and then it just like rips open, and you can see the study.
I'm going to jump through it with my giant
Yeah,
dragon head.
and then Bob like motions.
No. When you jump through it, how controlled is this jump?
I'm just going to step through it. I learned my lesson.
Gravity.
Okay.
Good. My bookshelf probably can't take another one of those.
I think that
Probably
as you
kinda.
step through, you just hear Tim say, well, that wasn't so hard now, was it?
Whatever, Tim.
Bob
gonna
is going to
ignore him.
follow on through.
Yeah, let's fucking go. Get through the fucking
So,
portal.
yeah,
I think
Fro-
that Druk is just kind of frozen there. Whoa.
Don't forget your head,
Hello.
Drew.
Thanks,
Bob
Chris.
like grabs him by the scruff and starts like pushing him towards the portal. You don't stay open for that long. Get through. Go.
So, Frost is just gonna, jump right in.
Okay, yeah, and you all find
Don't be
yourselves back
and
in the
don't
study.
be crowding up my stuff. Come on, get out. Just like whapping people with the staff. Just like
Oh, there you go.
then it like closes behind him.
So we end up back in his office.
He's forcing you out of the office quickly.
Okay, so
I'm stepping right out. I'm gonna start heading outside.
I think that you take a step sort of into the main cafe area, and it's quite early in the morning. And you take a step in, and everything is just deathly quiet.
Yeah. And as you guys like keep going out, Bob like takes his staff and like kind of looks at the ceiling, and having done this many times before, hits the floor underneath where Millie's room would be. It's like boom, boom, boom. Millie, it's time to get going. Let's go.
And
You hear
just
him
sort of-
muffled.
Yeah, just sort of movement and shuffling around reluctantly from upstairs. Yeah.
Yep. Bob goes back into the back room to prep opening the portal to Dion's.
So yeah, once Frost gets like out of the office, she's gonna be like, "Well, Druk, you really held your own that one."
Yes.
Actually did better than
Pretty
you
well
did
for
in
you.
that fight.
Believe it or not, yes.
Yeah, I believe it.
He got 2 crits in a row.
I believe. Yeah, he's a monster,
Uh-huh.
literally.
Yes. Yes. The beast was slow, and I was able to find places for my scimitar to seek its target and slip my blade in between its defenses. Just as my masters have taught me.
Well, hey, you've definitely been putting your practice to work. Good job. So,
Killing I am good at. Following the rules of your very complicated organization. Not much. Not as much.
yeah, I understand that. I sometimes wish there was less red tape, but you know, you
Red
can only hope
tape?
sometimes. It's just a word for unnecessary BS.
Oh. Oh. Why
Yeah,
is the
you
tape
might try
red?
using that one.
Why is the tape red? Is it from the blood
Well-
of our enemies?
Not necessarily. More from the.
I will think of it as the blood of our enemies. That will make it easier for
go
me
for
to
it.
understand.
Go for it.
And the Gorokai, most things are covered in the blood of our enemies.
That I can believe, for sure.
Lots of
Also,
blood.
Frost is
You'll get
Irish,
used
you
to the smell.
Oh, I imagine so. So, anything you want to do today? Like, I believe your work or your hang on. I believe your work the past day has earned you an off day. Anything you'd like to do?
What is off day?
Well, it's a day you can either relax or some stuff done that you've been needing to
Relax?
get done. Yeah, it's
Relaxing.
like not work. You can try that.
Just sort of turns and just sort of stares at the ground intently, very confused.
But if one is not fulfilling the purpose that they were created for, then they are useless.
Well, we all deserve a day off, and as long as you don't take too many days off in a row, you're not useless.
Oh.
You could even take the day off to practice even more if you wanted to practice your swordsmanship.
A
If
day
you-
of trading. Yes.
Yes.
This I can do.
Sounds good.
Where
Well,
where can I go to practice?
Yeah, and she's gonna sit there and think about it and realize that probably one of the only training places is at the quartermaster's place.
Yes,
And,
that would be accurate.
And she's gonna be like, you know what? I think you can hold yourself pretty well. Yeah, at the quartermaster's place. If he gives you any more trouble, just give me a holler, and I'll be nearby. Yeah, I understand. He's a bit of a prick, that one.
If he
But
gives
I'm-
me more trouble, can I practice on him?
Please be my guest.
Oh, don't tell him that. He's
Right.
going to take it literally.
Yeah, that was a bad
He
idea.
marches
Okay,
off.
hold up, Frost. You know he's going to take it literally. Your character would know he'd take it literally, and
Yep.
you know that if he does that, he's going to probably get killed, and you got direct orders to not let him die.
She'll be in the nearby area. She'll hear about something, I'm sure.
All right.
Here, plus the worst, he's probably not going to get killed. Worst thing that
Bullshit.
could happen is like
He's
he
like
gets in
under
prison.
review. He's under review by a mob organization without knowing whether or not, like,
I mean, you can
know what?
stop him if you
Dude,
want to.
no. It's not my job to keep him alive. It's not my job to keep your boss happy for you.
Well, then why'd you tell me in the first place?
Trying to help
I
Frost
understand.
make decisions that she would make, but fine. Okay.
This will be highly entertaining. I will enjoy this thoroughly.
And Bob will not protect you from the Allard by any means.
Alright.
He already thinks you're dangerous.
All right.
Me? How so?
So
You're in.
Oh, that's right. I
you're
was
an
blamed for
Arcanist.
something.
Well, you're also an Arcanist, unknown origins.
That's fair.
I believe cutting back for a moment to Nightmare in the cafe. The cafe room is deathly quiet, and you see a single cloaked figure sitting at the corner of the bar.
Ah, just who I was looking for. I'm gonna trot all over. Well, not trot. I'm gonna walk.
Now, do you still have the dragon head?
Yes, I'm carrying it.
And she just looks nice. Oh, I knew that there would be 3 sets of teeth and heads. Did you bring teeth from the other heads?
I'm gonna set the dragon's head on the table next to ours, and then pull out the teeth that I cut
I mean,
out.
the thing is that like this thing's freaking giant. Like,
Oh,
it doesn't really fit on the counter.
well then I'll set it on the floor. That's okay.
Like, you can barely like drag it through the aisle between the bar seats and the tables. Like, it's huge.
You know, we'll find a spot for it. We find a spot for it.
It's one of those things where you better be grateful that there's nobody else in the cafe. Otherwise, yeah, they would probably not be super happy about it. But then again, now that I think about it, Nightmare wouldn't think about what other people think whatsoever.
Nope.
So,
Nope.
that's fair. Okay.
They need to toughen up.
Oh, just looks at it.
Is this what you requested, or I should say, Boris?
She just says, well, the one. He said to get teeth from each head. I see you have one. You have the other teeth.
Yes, they're right here in my hand.
Good. And she just takes the 3 of them. Yes. Good. And tucks them into her pouch. She says, yes. And he says that your reward will manifest itself shortly.
Okay, but if this is a lie, don't expect any more tasks from me.
She just shakes her head. Oh no. He always delivers on his promises. Always.
Very well.
So,
Sort of moves out
question.
of the bar. Yeah.
Every other time, right? Bob's kind of either not known about her or hasn't been in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does this look like to Bob?
Well, I mean, I thought that you were still in your study.
Because I came out to
Oh,
feed
gotcha.
on the floor. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. In that case, it just looks like Nightmare just is sitting at the bar, talking beside him, and he sort of reaches his hand out with the teeth, and the teeth just leave his hand.
Oh, you can't see her?
Okay, cool. Yeah. I think Bob like makes note of that and then looks back down at the bar and like doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Does
And
the door
there's
like
also
open and close on
gigantic-
its own?
You don't see the door move.
So Bob's gonna like keep cleaning glasses or whatever for a significant amount of time, probably almost to it's like an awkward amount of silence. And then is it gone?
I mean, as soon as she leaves, I'm gonna pick up my head. I've got to go gift to deliver.
Oh, okay.
So unless you stop me from
Yeah,
just
so,
getting
so as soon
far.
as you like pick the head up and start heading out, Bob's gonna be like,
Heh.
"Is that your contact?"
My con. Oh, what? What is? The person I was talking to?
Whatever it was, I couldn't see it.
Oh, like you can't see her?
He like just shakes his head.
Well, this is awkward. I thought everybody could see her.
Bob like kind of half smiles and goes, "Considering the nature of the thing you're dealing with, it could be a ghost or a spirit of some kind. It wouldn't surprise me too much."
Well, yes, yep. I gave her the teeth. Did you see that?
I saw you put your hand out. I saw the teeth leave your hand, and that's it. Actually, that is a fair question. Tim!
Hang on. I just engaged with one of my cohorts in the ghost realm here. What?
The entity that has been moving in and out of my bar, our bar, I suppose.
Wait, what? There's an entity? Where?
Oh, God. All right. The man who looked like a mushroom, and
Oh yeah, remember him?
yeah, he had some dealings with a. What'd you say? Who? What are they?
His name is Varus. That's the main guy.
No, the contact.
Oh, the contact. I think I remember, but I'm just gonna say her name's Angela. I'm pretty sure she told me that. So
So it's like a she. I think some sort of ghosty, spiritual thingamajig.
yeah, she just shows up.
That's
and,
weird. Ah,
You ain't seen anything?
I know that the little mushroom asshole was talking to himself all the time, but I didn't know that he was actually talking to anybody.
I guess
Oh,
that
you can't
rules
see
out-
it either.
Rules out ghost then.
Yep. Not a neighbor of mine here in the spirit realm.
Well, would you like to meet her, Bob?
I don't know if I'd put it that way. Thanks, Tim. You can bet whatever you're doing.
Yep.
I find it very interesting. We'll say that much.
Well, I find it too. I thought everybody could see her. Well, that makes sense why people thought Roddy was so crazy. I mean, he is kind of crazy, but
Fluffy's
Anyway.
just been sitting in the corner this entire time.
Yeah, just like
Everyone's forgotten about it, and Fluffy just goes, "Yeah, Nightmare. None of us could see her. We
Oh, wait,
just
you
assumed
can
it was
see
the
her?
voices. No, I cannot see her. I
oh,
just assumed it was voices in your head.
I mean, I have those too, but
I know. Well, Mr. Tillman, you seem to have this well in hand. I'm going to retire to my rooms." Fluffy's going to exit and head back to wherever the heck it is he lives. I forgot where I said I live, but
I mean,
I'm going.
I thought that you said that you were staying in the inn.
No, that was Frost. I have my own
Okay.
place.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
all right. Well, if you don't have any more questions, Bob, I've got this gift to deliver.
all right, have fun. Bob's like looking around, like looking for Millie.
Yeah, and I think that probably around that time she'll just sort of mostly ready, still just kind of like hops in, still tugging on her boots, just like. All right, I think I got everything. I definitely got the spell book. Yep, and a couple. Yep. I think I got everything.
Good, come on.
She'll follow you into your study, I'm assuming.
Run back to the study.
Mm-hmm.
Bob like looks at the circle, like taps it a couple times, and then it, like what? To Dion's.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And through we go.
Oh. And she's like, do you think you have ever taken her through one of these things?
We've probably talked about the theory of it before, but no, I've never taken her through.
Yeah. She's like, oh. Well, that's certainly different.
Don't stay open super long. Come on, let's go.
Okay. Just steps on through and looks around, and indeed Dion's study, and just the massive towering ceiling and all of the arcane implements scattered all over the place. There's several tables that have been sort of scattered around with papers all over the place, and Dion, you see Dion at one of the far ones, and he just looks up and says, "Ah, there you two are."
And like come in and Bob, like, I imagine some of the reagents I have, like, kind of like Bob pulls them out. Yep, and I figured I feel bad asking this of you without any payment, so he like puts some Chimera reagents on the table. That'll do.
That will certainly do for several things that I've got in mind. Yes, thank you. And he just sort
Also,
of stands up and says, I don't
so
believe that we've met yet, miss. My true name is quite long and complicated. You can call me Dion. And she's just sort of like still like looking around, staring at the place, sort of snaps forward and shakes his hand. And he just says, don't worry. The place is quite special. You'll get used to it. Take a look around. Just try not to knock anything over like some of Bob's other friends have. And he just sort of approaches you. Oh, I can't say that I'll be able to devote all of my time to teaching her, but certainly will be able to give her teach her to the best of my ability.
Bob like kind of, yep. She got almost the basics. She needs more of the practical application of illusion magic, which you know well enough I'm pretty bad at. So
Chuckles and says,
too
let's
subtle
just
for
say
me.
that I never thought that you would be a street magician.
Bob just like kind of shrugs, puts his hands up, and you see like an arc of electricity in one and like fire in the other, and he's just like, I don't know what you mean.
Just chuckles and says, well, at least the kind of street magician that would keep a crowd for long before they ran screaming.
And you like he's like sober, his face sobers up quite a bit. There's evidence of the zombies coming out from the plague down in our area. I only saw 3 of them, and they were dead already. The Chimera we killed brought them in.
And nods and says, yes. Oh, fortunately, I've been tracking their movements for quite some time, and the Chimera hunt quite far and wide, so they still got them from up north, but it is spreading quite a bit, even here in Wafira, and he looks out the window. It's no longer safe. I've even heard tale that, I've even been able to see that the effects are starting to spread into Kofar, and let me tell you, Kofar and plagues don't get along well.
Yeah. Anything I should be looking for specifically?
He just shakes his head and he says, for now, concentrate on the matters that you have at hand. You have more than enough on your plate as it is. But keep detect magic handy. That's all
Always
I'll say.
do. All right. Down. You good, Millie?
And I think that you see her. She's climbed up several of the stairs and is sort of poking around at some of the items. She says, "Oh yeah, I'm good." And Dion just looks up and says, "Oh, yeah. I see you've already found my shelf of illusion. I'll be right up and I'll show you some of it." Reaches.
Bob
and
just like
shake your
waves. Yeah. He shakes his hand, waves to Millie, and just like, well, back to work.
hand. It never finishes, does it?
And just like steps through the portal right as it probably gets ready to close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Bob, like, as he gets back, he like sighs and like steps forward back to the front. And then we probably won't roleplay Bob finding help for the bar, but
Yeah.
Bob finds help for the bar.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Probably like an asterisk note, like, and thus Bob finds help for his bar.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. And I think that actually, as you sort of step into the front and look around, I think that's the point at which you see the familiar face of Steve poke through the door.
Steve!
Good morning, Mr. Tillman. How are you this morning?
Quite good, quite good. Yourself?
Doing just excellent. The Allard says that he has found some information that is vital to our current situation, and he requests the presence of you and your cohorts.
Well, I'll gather them as best I'm able.
Very good. He'll be awaiting you as soon as possible. And just sort of scatters out the door, and you can tell he is in a hurry.
Yep. Fluffy is upstairs, did he say? Yeah. No,
He was going to his place of residence, which I think
Okay.
I think that we did determine was one of the Allard's properties that they have control over elsewhere in the city. Just probably a fairly modest abode. He probably is like a basically think of it as a duplex type situation, but there's not enough like I guess horizontal space. There's quite a bit of vertical building in Tajir because space is at a premium. So sort of like you have like the upper lower floor of a fairly good decent sized house to yourself.
Okay, and then where's Frost at?
That's a good question. I think she just went up to her room and like was just unpacking some things.
Okay. Yeah, Bob probably goes up to your room first then and like knocks on the door.
Oh yeah, come on in.
Bob just like cracks it open.
Yeah.
2 hours. Meet down in the bar. Allard wants to talk. And then closes the door.
Right away. And she's gonna just go back to unpacking some stuff.
And Bob's gonna go try to make his way to Fluffy's place.
Oh wait, she's gonna come back downstairs or like peek her head out the door. Be like,
Oh,
hey, should I go get Druk?
No.
All
And
right.
then wanders to go find Fluffy.
All right. Yeah, which I think begs the question, Fluffy. What do you think exactly what have you done to your place that you have?
So, my place, I mean, it's pretty bare bones. Like you have a bed and there's an armchair with some bookshelves, and then there's a fireplace. So when Bob comes in, he'll just again find the simplistic place. Fluffy sitting in the armchair, just kind of perusing through one of his books that touches a bit more on sorcery, trying to learn a little bit more about what this is that he exactly has now.
Ah, interesting. There you go.
Yeah, Bob pokes. He probably comes in real quick, says the same thing to you he said to Frost. You know, back up at the bar in like 2 hours.
Okay.
Allard wants to talk.
All right, and so very well. You said he wants to speak at the bar.
Bob like, don't worry about that, and then like, kind of kicks back out the other way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will be there.
And last but not least, Nightmare, where'd you go?
I have a gift to deliver.
Okay. Where are you going, bud?
So I headed in a familiar direction of a certain individual that we paid a visit earlier and yesterday. And since it's so early, is there not a lot of people out and about?
Oh no, there's still quite a few people.
Oh
Right.
gosh, is he going back to the frickin'
So
market?
some way along the way, I bought a cloak for myself and my gift.
Okay.
And
You look like a hunchback.
Yeah, and I picked up a piece of paper. I wrote a note on it, and I'm walking towards the shop. And whenever I find it, I'm gonna leave a little.
So, actually, when you start to get into the nicer area of town, you notice that there are some posters that are placed on some notice boards and on some prominent corners, and there's a rather familiar-looking face on it.
All I see
Yours.
are familiar faces.
Oh, well, good thing I brought a cloak along.
I mean, you can bring a cloak, but the fact that you have glowing eyes and the spike out of your helmet makes it a little bit hard to conceal your identity. You could try to roll, I guess, I mean, you don't have proficiency in this disguise kit, so you're not exactly really hiding per se. So,
Can I try and take some side paths where maybe there's less people?
you could certainly try. Yes.
I would like to attempt some side paths.
Okay. Make a survival roll. See where you end up.
Survive in the city. Here we go.
Hey, okay. So you managed to work your way through some side paths, and you definitely still get some looks as you sort of move through, but nobody stops you.
Oh, good. And then, do I see the very familiar shop?
Yeah, so you sort of get to this marketplace area that's so fairly crowded, and you notice that the shop there's there's a group of workers that are bringing in large pieces of glass and attempting to put them into the shop front, and you see the little shopkeeper out front talking to another what appears to be actually another halfling individual, and he's just saying, now, I really just will need some sort of locking mechanism that will be able to, and a sturdier door. And is there such a thing as enchanted glass? Yes, I'll need enchanted glass that prevents people from just bursting through it.
And so as I'm watching him, I'm just gonna kind of with my head like almost like facing down. I'm gonna kind of walk out towards the street and the hustle and bustle, and I'm just gonna drop it. And I'm gonna go back to where I came from.
Like, just drop it in the middle of the street, or
Yeah, on his side of the street, kind of closer to his side, but not quite on his porch.
Okay, so it's just like there's people sort of like moving past there, and there's just this big hulking figure that just throws just this big burlap bag over.
No, it's not a bag. It's a cloak. It's just like draped
it's
over it.
cloak. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's like a giant quilt.
okay, so you just set this quilted giant object that's like yay big
Yeah.
just down in the street.
Yep, and I just walk
Leave
away.
it. Yeah, and I think as most crowds do, they just sort of move around it a little bit. And then I think that as you're walking away after a few minutes, you hear a blood-curdling scream come from the town square.
Did he not read the note?
Did you write a note?
Yeah, the note was on top. Once you uncover it, there's a note on the front of it.
Oh, well, you never said what the note said.
Oh, yeah. I was waiting until he read it.
Oh, I mean, did you like go and hide and wait to see if he read it?
No, I just walked away.
Oh, okay.
I just assumed that he read the note.
What does the note say?
So it says, "Sorry for getting blood all over your shop. Maybe we could make a deal sometime later, but here's a gift for the inconvenience we caused you. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Yours truly, Nightmare."
So, for context, you did not actually deliver it to him. You just sort of set it in the street.
Yeah. So whoever sees it first, that's what they're gonna read.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is that, so you set the note on top of the blanket?
Yes. No. So the way it works is the blanket is covering. Okay, so it's the head, right?
Yes.
And there's a tiny note that's been skewered into the head.
Oh, okay.
It's some sort of like rod or
Okay,
tiny
all right.
knife thing.
That's the clarification I needed. Yeah, no, blood curdling scream still happens. Some random dude on the street uncovers it, sees a gigantic beast head, and just freaks out.
She's a dragon head. Like,
Yeah, somebody just left a dragon head in the middle of the street.
Yep. I'm headed back to the bar. That's where I went. Back through the side alleys.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay.
I don't know how Bob runs into you. Then
Maybe like caught me on the street coming back from a direction that you probably heard us talk to you
I
about.
mean, he's just walking down the street, you know. He's feeling good.
sure, yeah, we just run into each other.
But I don't have the head with me anymore.
Yeah, I think Bob's in his like traveling gear too, so he's got like his cloak and his hood on. He's like wizarding along.
As one does.
Yep. And then so you're probably walking back and you just hear Nightmare.
Oh, yes. Where? Oh, there you are, Bob. What's up?
Allard wants to talk. Come meet back at the bar.
Oh, just on my way. I'll be waiting for everybody else.
And Bob probably, I'll walk with you.
All right. I'll walk with you towards the bar.
Yep. Cool. I found everybody.
Hey, look at that.
Did it.
You did it.
And I think actually, Nightmare, when you get to the bar, the two of you sort of walk over there. You notice that there is a very neatly wrapped package sitting sort of like right by the door of the inn.
Pokage, if you will.
The cafe, yeah.
Is this for you?
At the top of the
Bob,
package, there is a note
tag.
that specifically has written "Nightmare" in a very neat, fine printed font.
Oh. It looks like it's for me.
Bob takes like 3 steps back.
It's fairly small. It's probably about like the size of your fist, most likely.
Bob takes another step
Fluffy's
back.
gonna walk in the door and just stop at the doorway as he sees what's going down and sees Bob backing up.
Yeah, I'm
Bob
gonna pick it
makes
up
like
and unwrap.
Bob makes like pushing motions towards you.
And Fluffy's gonna back out of the door, leaving it open so he can see in, but standing outside of the establishment now.
Yeah, I'm gonna unwrap it.
Okay, and yeah, it's a small box, and you can unpackage if you would like.
Yep. I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna unpackage it as much as I can.
Yeah, so sort of take the sort of packing paper off of it and crack open the top of the box, and you see a small glass vial on the inside with liquid moving inside of it.
Well, nothing to it but to do it. I'm gonna attempt to drink it.
Oh God.
Oh,
This is a good idea.
Wait a second.
The most straightforward option.
I think.
Fluffy's gonna yell from the door, "Nightmare!"
What? What's up? This is my gift, not yours.
Yeah, maybe let Bob check it out before you just start drinking it.
Oh. Well, yeah, that's a good point. But don't drink it, Bob. It's mine.
I wouldn't be too concerned about that. I don't think Mr. Thielen has any desire to drink whatever's in that vial.
Yeah, Bob, I'm going to take a look at it real quick. What is it? Do I need to make a roll to identify it or anything?
You will need to make a roll. Yes.
What would that be?
That would be, I believe, an Arcana.
16. Not bad.
16? Okay. Yeah. And so it's got a yellowish liquid with black streaks that are sort of swirling around inside of it, and just at the slightest movement, the movement of the black streaks inside increases in speed. If you had to guess, this is a potion of speed.
Oh.
Bob looks at it, hands it back to Nightmare. And you drink that, you'll move quick, real quick.
Oh, okay. And I'm gonna start to pop open the cap and.
Not for very long.
Oh. Wait.
So use it in a fight.
Okay. Well, I'll just tuck this away then for good use later.
So
I should have just let him drink it.
Nightmare on cocaine.
Pretty much.
So Fluffy's gonna go ahead and walk on in the door. Now, Nightmare, what did we learn from this?
What did we learn from what?
What do you do when you get
Exactly.
a vial of unknown substance?
Well, this is from Bob, so
That's
he said it
perfectly
would make me
fine.
stronger.
You do not know what is in the vial. What's the
And he
first thing
was
you should do?
correct. He said it would make me fast, which is stronger, which means that he did not lie.
And it would have been wasted if you had already drank it. So what should you do when you get the vial and you do not know what it contains?
Well, depending on how fast it made me,
Frost
I
is
could
gonna
have
be
killed
coming
like
downstairs
5
at this
people.
point.
No, but
Bob just
been back
Bob just
to the meeting.
walks past this entire
Never mind.
conversation,
never mind, Nightmare. We'll talk about
What
this.
are we talking about now?
and then he sees Frost, and he's like, "Frost, you're with us. Come on."
All right, let's head out.
As he's like start heading towards the door, Bob's like, "No, this way," and walks back to his study with the crew in tow.
Oh boy.
I don't know where
Ah.
potion.
Bob's just like Bob. Once everybody gets in, he shuts the door to the study. Goes, "I haven't ruined Shiv's day yet," and then opens the door,
And I think
kicks
that,
forward immediately,
as he,
slamming the wardrobe open.
I think that as is per tradition, Shiv is in his office. I think that he is having. I think he's in the middle of a meeting. Actually,
Yes.
I think that actually he is meeting, and he's sort of sitting there listening, and he says, "Uh-huh, and I see. And so this new recruit, what exactly did he do to you when he talked about practice?"
Oh no!
And
Bob's just
the
like-
wardrobe bangs open, and Bob steps through, and you see that Shiv is having a meeting with the quartermaster, who is
Oh, no.
not looking in good shape.
Yeah, Bob.
Oh, hello.
Bob takes his wizard hat and like goes, "Morning, Shiv. Talk to the Allard. Have a nice day," and then walks through.
Wow. Does that work all the time?
Only when I want it to, and then walks out the door.
And I think it's just he's just sort of like watches him. The little goblin just walks through and just says,
What? How in the hell is that? Hey, you, freezy bitch, come here.
The name's Miss Freezy Bitch to you.
And
What
as
do you want?
as he does that, Bob looks back at the guy with his most like scathing wizard look. He goes, "Now that one's going to be with the Allard right now, so I'm pretty sure you can wait. You understand?"
He's like, yeah, but this one, little pet, decided that he wanted to come into my territory and maul me.
Yeah, you can deal with that. You can deal with that after she gets done talking to the Allard. Come on.
That was actually
can maul you
just
too.
laughing at him.
Don't think you're out of this.
Little goblin.
If you have to, Nightmare, scruff the two idiots and bring them along. And he like points at Fluffy and Frost.
No, I mean Fluffy's still walking and following Bob. He's just laughing as he's walking.
Yeah.
He turns, but he's got his head turned to the goblin. He's walking. Little friend, perhaps you should just learn your lesson and move along. And then he's gonna walk out the door.
Yep,
Hey,
Bob
you should learn to look like a normal person, red freak.
says the
Hey,
goblin.
says you.
Nightmare just looks at Fluffy.
Okay,
looks
Bob,
back
be
at the
ready to
goblin.
grab my collar. Fluffy's just gonna turn on a dime.
See, goblins can be racist.
When you turn, all you see is out of the corner of your eye is Bob's foot move slightly, and his staff kicks between your legs and trips you.
"Oh."
You just go, and Bob's just like, "No, we're going to meet the Allard. You can deal with this in a moment."
Fluffy's gonna get up, dust himself off, just spit at the goblin, and then turn and follow Bob.
Yeah, that's right. Follow your human master like a good boy.
Oh god.
Bob
And
stops
Fluffy's
at
gonna
that.
flip him off.
Racist. Says, hey.
Bob puts a hand up to Fluffy, turns around and looks at the goblin. Nightmare, escort the idiots into the thing. I'm going to have a quick meeting with our little friend here.
Oof.
I would like to. Can I cast a spell at him?
Bob, but you can like when Bob turns, you can already like feel the magical energy gathering around him.
Yeah, and Fluffy's trusting that Bob has this in hand.
I was going to do
He's gonna
hold
keep walking
person.
into the Allard's office.
Oh, I'm going to scare the shit out of him here in a second.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll just go into the room then. Hey, but if you're going to kill him, Bob, you tell me before you do it, okay?
I ain't going to kill nobody.
Dang it. All right. Well,
Just gonna teleport him to the middle of nowhere.
And Shift just looks at and just says, Bob, really, I've got this. You don't have to worry about it.
You quite sure, Shiv? Because he just insulted my student, and that's a bit of an issue.
And he just says, believe me, there are a lot of issues that we're going through right now. And the goblin snarls up at you and just says,
Yeah, that's right. And you have your own issues to deal with, you outsider wizard. Go deal with them yourself. This is clan
Bob-
business.
This
Bob
man's a
leans
Trump
down.
supporter.
He drops his accent entirely in a very soft, very calm tone. Little worm, I can show you your deepest, darkest fears. You know this. And they will eat you from the inside out, and I will happily watch as they rip your brain from the inside of your skull.
Eat you from the inside out.
Bob looks at Shiv, looks at
blindness on
the
Shiv.
goblin.
she was just sitting there, wide-eyed, looking at you, looking back at the goblin, and just shakes his head.
Shivs, out of respect for you, I won't do this in your office. But if I catch him in the halls later, I make no promises of his safety.
And Shivs just says, he's an asshole, but he's a useful one. Just don't permanently damage him. Shivs just look, and the goblin looks,
Wait, what?
And then, as the goblin's like looking around, Bob takes one hand and just basically just puts it on the goblin's face with acid splash running through it, and just brands the goblin. And then pulls it off. Have a nice day. And then walks out.
you just
And I-
still hear the screaming, and Shivs just like, oh. I'm glad that we don't guarantee health insurance.
And that's why you don't fuck with wizards, kids. Bob walks out, very gently shuts the door, walks towards the meeting room.
Were the screams of murder, Bob?
No,
Dang it.
screams of torture, and then walks past you.
Curses.
And yeah, in the meeting room,
Even better if Bob would have done it with the middle finger up. So he just permanently has a middle finger branded on his
On his
face.
face. And as Bob walks in, Fluffy's just going to give him a nod of appreciation. Because
Bob,
Fluffy
I don't
fully
think-
realizes he's already been in hot water with the Allards, so it's probably
So,
better that he's not
Bob
the one to have that.
doesn't even acknowledge it. Just
Oh,
walks.
they're-
So when you walk past Frost, she has you like just as you would see in a cartoon. She has like blind person sunglasses on. She's like, "Y'all hear something?"
gosh dang it.
Bob walks in.
Let's just be
Just
regular.
knocks on the conference room door.
About time. Please, enter.
Bob
We going
ushers them in and then walks in.
Keep in mind, this is the first time the Allards seeing Fluffy.
In a while, yeah. I told him
yes,
you're safe.
yes, this is true. This is true. And Allard looks around and says, glad that all of you could make it, at least in the number we have of you now in the state you're in. Fluffy, welcome back.
Thank you. And, well, we will have that conversation at another time, Allard. I think Mr. Thielman has some pressing matters for you at the moment.
Bob goes, well, as far as I understand, the Allard has pressing matters for us.
Nods and says, yes, Fluffy, we will have to have a meeting at a later time. For right now, I do have an assignment for you all. And just sort of leans over and taps a stack of papers. This that I have here is a report from one of our spies in the Cutters. I've sent out our network, and he was able to recover some documents first. It seems that we have found a way that we could potentially get in and see what exactly is going on with them. Apparently, the leadership has taken on, as of recently, a very significant contract that they've kept hidden from the rest of the Cutters. And that is very, very against their normal code. One of the main
reasons that the Cutters are able to work is that they're all on the same page and they all understand what each other's missions are, so they don't get in each other's way. So the secrecy from the top is very, very unusual. So, what I'll need you to do is, as soon as Shiv is done with his meeting, he is going to come in and he's going to give you some consultation on the Carter's typical MO and where their typical hideout is. From there, what I'll need you to do is see exactly what's going on and attempt to address their current situation.
Nightmare raises his sword. Rest.
Just says, the Cutters, we have not had the best relationship with over the past few decades, frankly, but we've worked hard to get the relationship that we have had with them for the past few years. Do your best to not spoil it any further than you all already have. Am I clear?
Nightmare lowers his sword.
And you, Nightmare, after the rest leave, you stay.
After the last lead?
After we all leave, you have
After
to
the
stay.
rest leave.
Oh, the rest lead.
Oh,
You're
getting
gonna
called
get
to the
reprimanded
principal's
by the
office.
principal. Yeah.
Reprimand that man.
Except it's not like in the, the movies, principal's office. It's like bad kind.
Yeah, it's like a porno.
No, I was saying it's not like that.
Pretty sure
it's
it is
not
like
gonna-
that.
Depends on if you like it or not.
And he just says, so, you understand your assignment.
We do.
Very good.
Sounds good to me.
Bob stops for a second, and just so you're aware, Bob looks around. Is anybody else besides us in here?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Bob kind of leans forward a little bit and very quietly. We heard rumors of the Chimera to the north of the city.
Oh, that was the beast that you were asking about.
Yes. It's been dealt with. However, we saw some of its prey that it brought in were corpses from the north. And not the good kind.
She says, oh, Jashaw's asshole. You're not telling me the plague is here.
Not yet. They were long decomposed and no longer moving. Chimeras, I already checked, are widely known for how far they will range in search of prey. So we haven't much time, but keep your eyes and ears open. Things could get worse.
He just shakes his head.
He's like, and professionally, I would say we should keep this quiet for the time.
Just nods. Very good. Thank you.
But I did think you should know.
Yes.
You know what? Waiting on Shiv then.
Yes, he should be finishing with his meeting quite shortly, but...
Bob smiles slightly, like that, almost like smirking smile. Yes, indeed.
No, it's good. Report back to me as soon as you're done.
So yeah, we go to see Shiv, but then I guess.
And
I guess I'm not seeing Shiv.
well, at least not yet. He is apparently still in his meeting, and you assuming that you follow the Allard's instructions and don't leave the room with the rest.
Nope. I'll hang tight.
Yep. The Allard says, close the door.
I close the door.
Nightmare reaches over and picks up a paper that has your face on it.
A kill count.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
He picks up a paper that you have seen earlier today that has your face on it. And he says, Nightmare.
Quite a good likeness, if I say so myself.
Never get the nose right.
Nightmare.
Oh my god.
Please explain.
Good reference.
the
10 out of
meaning-
10.
It does. Yep. 10 out of 10.
Please explain to me the meaning of this.
Oh, yes. Well, I tried to do a bit of shopping, but it appears that
Hold on. How does shopping turn into wanted for murder by one of the biggest private security companies in the city?
Well, I'm getting there.
All right, we're hunting down that slimy little boy.
So, yes, I tried to go shopping, and I went to I needed some gems, and I pull out the like diamond, and then I put it back into my.
He has a very, very not amused look on his face.
And then I went to the jewelry shop in the south, but I guess they haven't seen as much as around here. They work a little bit differently or something.
Nightmare, have you ever been to the southern side of the city before?
Not at any good business. I've certainly never been in a shop there.
Uh-huh. Did you happen to see anybody else in the area who looked like you?
No.
Uh-huh.
I'm
That's
kind of
what-
unique.
Uh-huh. Just a little bit. So, when going into one of the wealthiest sections of the city, did you happen to think about how people would react to you?
Well, I figured that, after all the work we do around here, that, I'd be a little bit gentler with those in the south, and it appears that I wasn't gentle enough, and
Tell me, Nightmare, what does gentleness look like to you?
Well, you see, normally, whenever we go into other areas or with other family members, we whip out our swords and we tell them what we want, and we don't leave unless we get it. So this time, I just told them what I wanted, and I didn't whip out my sword.
And he just like sinks forward onto his desk with both of his hands on his forehead.
But don't you worry, we made amends. You see, I delivered him a
Amends.
gift.
Hold on. He holds up the poster. You call this amends?
Well, I mean, they'll figure it out and they'll take the posters
They'll
down.
figure it out by either getting their bounty or getting scared off.
Well, you see, the shopkeeper, I made amends with him. Because the fight did cause quite a ruckus in his shop, and I do feel bad. He really didn't want to hurt anybody, and neither did I. But those dang guards showed up, and they just wanted to fight.
You
Bunch
see,
of idiots.
Nightmare, this was not a hit put out by some simple shopkeeper. This is a personal vendetta from the company itself.
Oh. Well, looks like we're gonna get some more territory in the south, I suppose.
We don't go in the South, Nightmare. That is trading company territory. We do not screw with the companies.
Well, they should learn not to screw with us, I suppose.
Listen here,
Nightmare.
you little.
Nightmare, I know that you are very confident in your abilities. They could wipe you out in an instant.
Well, I'd like to see them try.
I wouldn't. I like having you here, alive, in one piece.
Well, whenever they did show up at the shop, they certainly put up a bad effort. So, I'm not too worried. If they do show up looking for me, just let me know and I'll kill a few of them, and it'll be that.
I'm not worried about them showing up here. I'm worried about if I ever try to have any sort of business in the South whenever I go down there and I try to negotiate and someone brings up the fact that someone associated with me decided to murder an entire squad of their platoon just for doing their job.
Okay, well, you tell me.
Technically, not an entire squad.
If they hit me first, is that murder?
Tell me, if they were doing their job to hit you first, is that reasonable?
Oh, no, because we didn't show any signs of aggression.
You didn't show any signs of aggression.
He makes a good point, though.
No.
Why don't I
talking
believe you, Nightmare?
Nightmare picked up the shopkeep.
Well, that was after we had already started fighting.
No, it wasn't. It was before they came in.
Oh, well, okay.
They
Yeah.
walked in. They walked in with him holding the key. That's why they
Well,
freaked out.
Well,
yes,
they
but
walked in
actually-
and they saw him lying on the floor and him with the key.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and there was fluid coming out of his pants.
What was his question?
Why don't I believe you when you say you didn't show any signs of aggression?
Well, probably because I'm not the smartest, and you probably have a different
I've
definition.
gathered this.
did you have anyone else with you to try to talk sense into you?
Oh yes,
yes,
but I
we
beat them
tried.
to the shop because I used my horse. Ah, they wanted me to roll over and give them money, but I can't do that and disgrace your good name.
And he just leans back in his chair. Oh.
Nightmare. I am from here on out
I'm still
banning
here, yes.
you from traveling to the southern half of the city until further notice.
Oh well, good thing I took care of business before.
I shudder to think what else that you did in between the time I got this poster and what now.
It involves a dragon head.
Did he say that out loud?
Yes, he muttered it, but not super quietly.
Oh, what's that you said? Are you trying to talk to me still?
Nightmare, don't go into the south end of the city without express permission from me. You understand?
From you.
From me
Well, what if I
alone.
need more diamonds?
We have people here who can handle that for you. If you
Oh.
needed diamonds, you literally could have just asked.
Oh, well, that wasn't on my pamphlet whenever I got hired, but thank you. I will consider this in the future.
Go join the rest of your team, Nightmare, and don't go south.
Oh, yes, yep. Can I go? Oh, if I go around the city, does that still count as south? Because then I'm traveling
Don't
north.
go into the south side of the city. Goodbye, Nightmare.
All right. Can you point me in the direction of Boulder?
You're going to see Shiv, then you're going to my assignment that I gave you.
Ah, fair. I probably wouldn't have time. He's such a busy fellow, just like you.
Goodbye, Nightmare.
Goodbye, Mr. Allen. I'm gonna give him a bow, and then walk out.
I love how he just.
I think that it's sort of like as
completely
he
insane and
opens
does not
the
care.
door, if anybody's like standing close to the door, you just hear the distinct sound of what sounds like a forehead hitting a desk. So, there you go.
All right.
And I think that at this point, the door to Shiv's office opens, and you see a small figure with a cloak over his head just turn, a disfigured goblin, snarl, spit at your feet, and just run down the stairs.
I could stab him if you want.
Bob just understands.
And Shiv just is there shaking his head. Look, he's good at what he does, but he's an ass. But he's good at what he does. I just hope that he doesn't have any permanent vision damage after that. He does actually need to take good care of our supplies.
I didn't put my hand on his eye.
All right. Bob, I'm fine with it this time, but just know that in the future, you're not going to be the one taking care of family disciplinary matters. I didn't know what to expect, but that was certainly something. Anyway, so the Aller told you our assignment, right?
He did.
All right, the Cutters. What do y'all know about them?
Bob looks to the others that would probably know more.
Yep. I remember those guys. They sucked at fighting.
Well, I just know that we are in competition with them.
He says, in a sense, yes. They're one of the four major families that we have kept sort of very, very different styles of relationships with over the past several hundred years that we've been working with them. But as of recently, our relationship's been pretty good, thanks to the current Allard. However, as with all of the magic, whatever you call it, that's been going on, they've been getting more aggressive, and it seems like their different cells are off doing more of their own thing. They're not acting as unified as they typically do. So,
Contracts are the main thing that you gotta remember. Contracts are everything to them. That's how they do business. Well, we do business. We certainly use contracts. We just work within the general confines of the law, and we rely some on gentlemen's agreements and established relationships. To them, it doesn't matter if you're the first time client or 100th time. If you make a contract with them, it's to the letter of that contract, and it is bonding. If the terms are right, they'll follow it to the letter. But the contracts are distributed throughout the entire organization. That's how they've been able to survive so long, is that all of them know all of the contracts going on at the same time. We've never actually been able to figure out how they do that, but they all keep in touch with each other, so they all know exactly what's happening, how to coordinate. Makes them very dangerous. Try not to cross multiple of them. You were able to defeat the one squad. Try facing 6. That was a damn nightmare. Anyway. So, what you may be able to do is, since they seem to have been less than unified as of recently, try to find a lower level cutter squad and get into their heads. See if you can get some information out of them.
Okay.
So, you're insinuating that they can speak telepathically?
Listen, I have no idea. I don't think it's magic. It's possible, though. But what I'm saying is that they communicate with each other a lot. And it seems as though they've been having a communication breakdown as of recently, which would explain the more aggressive behavior and, well, everything else that's going on in the north side of the city.
Gotcha.
All making sense?
Yep.
As much
Yeah, we can
as,
do it.
random communication, like,
This is
confusion
not random,
can.
sister.
Well-
Alright.
But I know how it could appear that way.
Alright. Good place to start is going to be up towards the north side of this, up towards the far north side of the city. There's a bar called the Silver Mare. You go there, and that's typically a place, according to our spy, where you can find some lower level cutters to take on your contracts or get in contact with some of the higher level ones to do more of your work. Start there.
And you
Very
suggest
well.
we go at night?
Yeah. They operate day or night. I'll leave that up to your discretion, but if you get some drink in them first, they might be more reasonable. I don't know.
We'll do our best with it.
Yes, a drunk tongue is often the loosest.
Very
The drunk-
true.
the
But
drunk
the
tongue
drunk
speaks of
tongue is
silver
also
mind.
the most tendent to get themselves into a situation where they draw swords on you. And believe you me, if you walk into that place and they know that you're looking for trouble, you'll find it, and it's not going to be pretty.
I'm always looking for trouble.
Nightmare? No. You will not speak in this establishment.
Oh, I understand. You guys are taking the lead.
I'm
but-
sure Mr. Thielman, from running it in, has a pretty good gauge of the line we should be crossing as far as inebriation goes.
But if a fight breaks out, don't expect me to run
Don't
away.
get into a fight.
A fight
The
will not break
bar
out,
is going
Nightmare.
to be literally full of cutters who know the Allards, and that is how we're going to start off an all-out family clan war. And that is the last thing we need.
A
Don't
fight will not
get
break out.
into
You have
a
our
fight.
assurances.
We'll see how valid those assurances are. You all have shown that you're very valuable in a fight, but as far as not getting in a fight, we have yet to see. So,
Well,
We'll just put a muzzle on the giant dog, and we should be okay.
and you and I, Fluffy, can disguise pretty well, so we could use that to our advantage.
If they're worth a shit, they'll sniff that out immediately. They'll have us
Yes.
watched from the moment we get inside their territory. Our best bet
Yeah.
is just to approach openly.
Yes. But
I
we
guess
will
that makes
not
sense.
be looking for a fight, Nightmare. I know your blade is hungry, and it will have its time.
I will
we
not
must be
throw
smart.
the first blow. Do not worry.
Okay, I trust you, Nightmare. You just have given us some cause for concern lately.
Understandable.
have a
Is there anything else, Shiv?
Nope. Well,
actually, there is one more thing. Believe it or not, in all of
These
the...
nuts.
I mean, we all get one.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're almost done. Don't worry. And he says, actually, and with all of the work that you all have been doing and with all that's been going on, I'm ashamed to admit we've forgotten to pay you.
Oh.
And he's
Wait,
just
you
sort of,
all are getting paid?
gosh dang it. And he plops five sacks onto the table. Or he says, oh, well, I guess you won't be needing this one. And he picks up one of them off of the table.
I'll take
that's
it if you're
sad.
just gonna, you know.
Nope. This is how wages work.
Fair enough.
So, there you are. There's payment for services rendered so far in the past few days.
Frost is gonna look into the bag and get a rough estimate of how much is in there.
I will tell you that each of you has gotten paid approximately 600 gold.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay.
Because my purse was a little light.
Nice.
So you can add that to your individual character sheets rather than the group one.
Let's go.
So,
Maybe I can.
Bob takes that sack and drops it inside of his other sack.
of course.
Infinite sack.
It doesn't even like jingle when it hits. It just
Yep.
Bob closes.
All right. He said, all that taken care of. Get out there. Be careful. Do good work. There'll be more of this. More where that came from, if you can pull this off.
Have a good one, Ship. Oh, actually, you got my mug?
He just says, yeah. He opens the drawer and hands you the mug.
Bob takes it, kind of waves everybody through the door, walks through. He doesn't actually even he does it, and then Shiv's wardrobe one reopens a second later. And the mug comes back through with the mage hand and sets itself back on his desk. It's full.
And you just
He closes back up.
Hey, Bob, I'll find my own way home. Just gonna stick around for one more thing. Be back in a sec. Okay, so once everybody's gone, she's gonna say to Shiv, "Hey, sorry about the whole the quartermaster thing. I may or may not have goaded my
about that after you finish your assignment, but I guess if you want to talk now, then that's fine. I'm in a better mood now that I have a drink."
Right.
Puts feet on table, takes sip.
Yeah, well, I tend to forget how literally the orc seems to take everything inside.
I've noticed.
And when he said, "Shall I take care or use him as a training bag?" I may or may not have had a bit of personal bias after having dealings with that man multiple times. And I just said, "Be my guest." And I did not have the time before he was out the door. Now,
Yeah.
just know that it wasn't his actions only; it was partially mine.
Well, I believe that the arrangement that we made was that you were actually responsible for him. So, that does make sense. Tell you what, we won't directly punish him. You still keep teaching him. But you pay for all expenses related to our quartermaster's recovery.
Sounds good to me. And how much will that total?
He just says, well, it wasn't going to be as bad before Mr. Tillman decided to work his magic. But let's just say I'll be sending you a bill in a few days. Might want to avoid spending all that in one place that I just gave you.
Yeah, is there a rough estimate? Just I'll do a down payment now.
Never had to cure hand-sized acid burns before.
And he just says, "Hey, listen, I keep the books, I keep my ear to the streets, I know nothing about medicine. When you come back, I'll send you a bill."
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And she's gonna head out.
All right.
And I think that with that, we will wrap up for this evening.
Cool.
How expensive gold being?
Okay, well we can discuss that afterwards, but let's go over some goals. So, Bob, you got Millie to the safety of Dion.
I did indeed.
You did. Very good, very good. You can have 1,000 XP for that.
Okay.
Collect some samples from the beast you guys hunted. You did it.
Did do that.
Oh, nice. Let's see here. I have to keep calculations a little bit separate because you're a different level now. Go ahead and take 600 for that.
Cool.
And I think that you are making progress. You made progress with arranging a meeting with one of the families. So take progress XP for that. 25 times your level.
Sweet.
And last but not least, for roleplay XP, go ahead and adjustments for next level. Take 950.
Nice. Awesome.
All right. Frost. Find peace with Calavar's new state of being. I don't think you really did much.
Yeah,
on
we
that
haven't
this
really
session.
talked much
We
about
didn't
it.
interact there like
Yeah.
we should have.
Yeah, that's all right. Protect Druk until he's become more independent. Well, I mean,
I told him to stick up for himself, so there's that.
well, and you did take responsibility for him. So
Yeah, I think there's progress.
I'll give you progress. And for his surprise goal, I think maybe progress.
What was the surprise again? I forgot.
This happens every session. You guys really need to write.
I
these
know. We need to
down.
write them down somewhere. Did you send it to me last week? We sent to me a Discord message. Just send it again.
Okay.
I hear that every single time you guys talk about Discord messages.
Okay. There's you.
I'd say yeah. There's progress
There's
there.
you. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll give you progress on that one.
Okay.
And for roleplay, go ahead and have yourself 600.
All right.
Or well, no, that's right. The bit at the very end, 650.
Cool.
All right.
I'm at 45,700. This is
Yeah,
good.
you're getting quite close.
Start chugging along a lot
Nightmare.
quicker now.
Yeah. Speak to HR about the situation with
I
the
did not-
shopkeep. You did
I did
not.
not talk to HR.
You did not.
That's not even a human resources. That's PR.
Successfully hunt down the creature Varus sent you for. You did
did.
that. You did that. So
The T.
That you did.
you did. So for that, go ahead and take 900.
Hmm?
And his surprise goal. I don't think so. You could maybe argue progress.
Did we rework that?
Yes, we did. You might not have been here for it. I'll send it to
Okay.
you.
Oh, mine got reworked?
Yeah, we made you a different one.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Well, or was yours one that we reworked? I don't
I
remember.
didn't think we were.
Because I know the
No, we
last
didn't
one was
rework
kind of
his.
just like
We did Fluffy and Frost.
Okay, no, I don't think we did. Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. So no,
Okay,
we
then
haven't
what
we
was
haven't
it?
changed his.
I don't think his needs change either. I think it's a good one to keep.
Yeah, I do too.
But I would not say progress on that one.
Oh my gosh. I'm not making any progress on this goal.
No. We're
It'd be
pushing.
like that.
I will tell you this: you have had opportunities,
Yeah.
but
Oh, really?
you have had opportunities.
Dang.
you have had a lot of opportunities.
I will tell you this much: you've done the opposite so far.
Oh, okay.
All right, Fluffy. Oh wait, no, roleplay XP for you, and you actually did quite a bit this session. Have yourself a nice. Yeah. Have yourself 1,000
Dang.
nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Way to pay attention. All right.
All right.
And last but not least, Fluffy.
Yeah.
You progressed on unlocking the full potential of your spellcasting
That's-
abilities.
250, right? Or is it 300 now?
It is 25 times your level, so you can do that.
Oh,
math.
so 275.
Have not had yet had a meaningful conversation with Frost,
Nope.
but I think that actually you did make progress on your surprise goal.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would
Yes.
agree.
Yes, it happened. It happened at some point in there. And roleplay for you. You can have yourself
little Christmas.
650.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I was not as in it tonight.
Yeah, that's okay. You're a little under the weather. All right. So, last but not least, same time next week. Everybody good?
I'm
Yep.
good.
I think so. We shall see.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching, and we will be back next week.
Bye forever.
Bye.
Bye.